Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries again today. Hope you're well, or hope this finds you well, at least for this 15, 12 minutes. Anyway, again, as I always say, today was previewed as this I didn't kind of put in there, but it literally was probably the weirdest job interview I've ever been on, at least in the civilian world, as I say, outside of the film industry, especially during my pseudo-clinical work. Now, it was really bizarre, and the reason that it was so far out is because my husband and I decided to make a leap from LA County all the way over past Riverside County, and so it made sense because we were struggling to figure out what could I friggin' do in Palm Springs. I could caregive. So anyway, so really quick background. I work for the county, assistant research analyst, community assessor level, whatever the fuck, and I did that for a year. Now I was hungry to get into clinical works. Now I'll clarify that, and I'll call it for now pseudo-clinical. I was not a clinician, okay, but I was very eager to pursue many of the things that was taught to me by the county, proxy by the Centers for Disease Control. And I had to be like state certified for special kinds of venipuncture and blah, blah, blah. Okay, and interviewing, people flew out from the CDC to see how I was interviewing, like 3 people in one Winnebago. We used to call them Winnebagos, RV. So, I go from the county, I make a leap. Now, this is what I call my clinical hours. I am not licensed. I am not certified as any kind of clinician. I am not even a medical assistant or anything approaching that. But I have 1,200 clinical hours because when I left the county, I'm not going to bore you to tears. I went to a clinic that had 2 other clinics, and they rotated me through 3 clinics. Plus, I was coordinating a county-funded program for education and more clinical work, venipuncture, data gathering. So I'm doing this. So I rack up my 1,200 clinical hours. Now I'm still, we at this point, my husband and I, like I said, made this leap from my apartment where we met, where I was living, right over Tower Records, which is probably the most stupendous view I've ever seen of any apartment. And oh God, but anyway, we made that leap. Okay, so I'm bouncing around collecting these clinical hours. I'm going to these really, sketchy, LA County, USC Medical Center out clinics for heroin users that go on methadone programs, and I have to do all the venipuncture for them and again gather more data for the county. So now we're in this easty place from my Tower Records apartment, and actually, to be honest with you guys, it was Palm Springs. We had to sell my house and just bolt out of the county, and that's a whole another book. So we bolted out to Palm Springs. Palm Springs was very affordable at the time. We had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, sprawling house with a pool, and it was $850 a month. It is probably a $2.5 million estate or whatever now. Avenue Quintana, if anyone knows Palm Springs. So now we're in bumfuck Egypt. My husband is looking for any kind of work. He even drove to Indio in a truck that had no air conditioning to see if they would take him as a paint salesman. I have been reduced now, not reduced, to applying to gay nightclubs to be an administrator. But this has nothing to do with my background. So there's this magazine called, I wish I could remember, Nonprofit something or something, Center Periodical, whatever. And it's like this magazine where everyone in nonprofit